It's showtime, Yoel. So, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I
What's
hope
up?
you are having an amazing day, everyone. Thanks for joining in. My name is Pratik, and I'm founder at Websoli and Testlify. I'm joining in from Tel Aviv, Israel. I would love to know where you guys are joining from. Share it in the comments below. I would like to introduce a special guest we have today. Now, he's not a guest, he's kind of a friend in Israel. Very close
Kinda?
connection. No, we are best buddies, man. So Yoel is inspiring person. He is an Israeli American tech entrepreneur who has been at the forefront of Israeli marketing ecosystem. He founded Wari Digital, Israel's leading technology marketing agency, and Cyfluencer, a cybersecurity influencer and distribution platform. He's a very well-known person, I would say a celebrity in marketing space in Israel, after me. Uh, so he has dedicated his life helping others succeed through business. Yoel's extensive background in marketing and technology is matched only by his passion for innovation and entrepreneurship. Like when we talk about entrepreneurship, we'll dig more about your entrepreneurial spirit, Yoel, and we'll love to hear from you. But I really want to thank you for taking the time and joining us today.
What's up, man? Let's have fun.
Yo, so Yoel, to start with, we'd love to know a bit more about your story, personal side, before we even dive into this topic. So share, why entrepreneurship, why you decided Israel, share some things which are not publicly available.
All right, sure. Probably everything's publicly available at this time. At this point, I am an open book. People ask me questions. I'm very happy to go on the record, even though my opinions change and human memory is kind of a joke. Why Israel? I'm a Zionist. It's great to be part of the Jewish history and part of the Jewish destiny, and I feel like it's the best place to raise children, and it's a very positive place, I think, to be. You want to go in business and in life, you want to go where the energy is, and I found that America didn't really have that energy. So that's why I brought it over to what's up? I'm from Pennsylvania, so I didn't really think had that proper energy. So that's why I moved to Israel, and then specifically when it comes to entrepreneurship, it kind of stumbled on me. I wasn't one of those kids. I wasn't entrepreneurial as a kid at all. I wouldn't even say I had a great work ethic as a kid either. But I don't know. I think it just like kind of a tick thing that happened to me that I do like taking chances. I like being my authentic self. I don't like to filter myself, and I'm not scared to put myself out there. And that's been able to deliver me in spades, not just in my not just for entrepreneurship in our business and for sales, but also my personal life, my personal relationships, and me being able to find a home here in Israel, build a home. Everything I'm really willing to do is that I kind of just decided to kind of lead with both feet forward.
You're one of the most interesting entrepreneurs I've met, Yoel, so I can vouch for you any day. And you are hell of an entrepreneur. You said that you like to see things or show things unfiltered, and you have a podcast or a channel, Israel Unfiltered, right?
Right.
So you wanna share some things like what you discuss on
I
that show?
usually don't talk about it at all, but I'm happy to. My goal is to be able to find and unite the different kind of personalities across the spectrum in different industries in Israel and interview them and have those conversations. So my favorite thing to do is have conversations and get to know people. The more I get to know people, the more I learn how much I don't know. In addition, as you learn more, you learn how more ignorant you are, right? So it's very humbling. And then I'm able to learn more by listening and speaking to other people. And I really enjoy finding how other people are able to succeed in their personal life, in athletics, in music, in politics, in whatever it is, and getting into other people's mind. Starting November 9th, I'm going weekly. So I already have a bunch of guests lined up through the end of the year. And I've made it an official thing. And I've actually hired a producer who's actually going to help me. And I'm already have a bunch of guests lined up. And it's going to be really excited. My next one, November 9th, is I'm having Huddle Silverman from Women of the Wall. So she's coming on then. So we really get everyone in Israel is fascinating.
Sounds like fun.
Yep. You guys
So
can
just
find it over at
for
Israel Unfiltered. Search Israel Unfiltered on YouTube, and you'll find the channel. And Pratik was
so
a guest, an early guest, not like 6 months ago or something.
Exactly. I was about to mention that, and if you want to hear my story about Israel, I think it's really a good conversation that we had that day. So yeah, you can go and check out
It
that
went it went
channel.
viral in India, by the way. Got like
Oh,
tens of thousands of views. Yeah, so they
thank you for doing that. Hi Adit, hi Anita from Pennsylvania, Denmark. People are joining across the globe. Hi Karina, Shweta, Maitri. Hey all. Please, if you are listening, you recently joined. We'd love to hear from you. Where you guys joining from? Put out in the chat if you have any specific question that you want me to ask you. Feel free to put that down as well. We will take the questions along the webinar. So Yoel, I want to ask you quiz question. Let's check your knowledge. How many users you think that LinkedIn has today? Active, I would say. How many million?
with or without bots, with or without Chinese spies. I don't know, probably 750 million. Last I checked, it was 630 million like 3 years ago. So maybe 800 million, 700
Yeah,
million,
we are close to 800. Yes,
800
700
million.
and yeah. So it's a huge social network. I started my LinkedIn journey approximately 3 4 years ago. That time I think 600 million users were on the platform. It's a great growth. I see a lot of engagement in last couple of years specifically, and this was initially an hiring platform and people used to go to LinkedIn on mostly for hiring, but this has turned out to be more on content, sales, personal brand, company brand, and lot to offer now, in terms of value. And 70% of recruiters use LinkedIn as their primary hiring channel, so it's huge. um, Going back to the topic, Yoel, when when it comes to hiring, so you are a successful business owner here in Israel, and you've been hiring a lot for different positions. Which channels do you use for hiring?
The best thing is my network. I don't even mean LinkedIn. I mean people I know, right? I mean, if you're going to use a channel, LinkedIn's probably fantastic. But at the end of the day, is just because I'm very well networked, and people know that we're a phenomenal employer. We're the best place to work in marketing by far. One, people find us, and we find people easily. So people will go, "Hey, this person's open to work," and vice versa. So the CVs come to us. We do have a recruiter help send us sometimes. We have some recruiters that send us things. But generally speaking, it's just through the network. I just work my network, talking to people like you, talking to people here, and that's the best way to find things.
I
The best
remember
recruiter.
I remember about our conversation. You were in the process of hiring one person that I know. One of the Indian person that you have in your team. I won't mention
You
the
can
name.
say her name. She's awesome. Revital Moses. I love her.
Revital Moses. We had that conversation, and that's how I said yes, you can definitely move forward, and that's how
Yeah.
things work within the network. Um so hi Revital, if you're listening. Now this is more on networking, hiring. So when it comes to proper hiring, do you think you are a marketer, so again think on the candidate's perspective on why they should work for your company, because there are a lot of other options available. So how would you market yourself as a company so that people wants to come and work with you?
Well, I mean, people leave other marketing agencies to join Wadi. It's not the other way around, and for good reason. Okay, we've had two people from Days, two people from Marketing Envy, two people from Remotion have joined us because this is the best place to go to upgrade your career. I mean, so that's the first thing is understand this is the place that you want to be. Just like people say they're ex Google, ex Facebook, which I think is obnoxious. People are starting to say they're ex Wadi. You know that the people that work at Wadi have a phenomenal work ethic. They really know their stuff. The professionalism is nothing like you can find anywhere else, and I'll get into why that is in a moment. And that's why we've been able to differentiate ourselves in such a way. One of the reasons that really puts us apart is that we're 100% remote. What that means is that we have very high trust. There's no micromanagement, and you own your life. It's not a 9 to 5. These are your responsibilities. Show up, do your work, serve the clients, be responsible, help your team, and live your personal life. There's no reason why should I only hire people within an easy commute from where the office is in Tel Aviv or Jerusalem or Haifa? That's insane. Why not find talent that's in the periphery? Why should a mother that wants to breastfeed have to pump or give the kid formula and not see their baby because they have to go back to work? I think it's immoral, it's anti-family and anti-feminism. And so therefore, I think being a remote agency lets us to be able to find all of the talent, develop all of the talent that we possibly want so they can have the life that they want, both the personal life, and we totally respect that, and that they can live that life that they want during the hours that they want and continue to serve our clients successfully. That way we're able to attract the best talent, we're able to retain the best talent, and we're able to do the best work possible because people know that there's no better place to work.
Wow, that was really a thorough explanation. Thank you for sharing that, Yoel. So let's say on LinkedIn, talent pool is abundant. The competition to attract top tier talent never ends, right? To win, you must know how and where to find your next hire. Do you think data, insight, AI will shape the future of recruiting?
It depends. If you're large enterprises and you do a lot of hiring, yes. If you're a startup, you got a bunch of funding, you got to hire 40 engineers in the next 4 months, yes. If you're a smaller company, you need to fill in a specific 1 or 2, 3, 4, 5 roles, unique roles, as opposed to hiring a bunch of engineers. Or we're opening you're an accounting firm and you're opening a new office in a new city and you want to bring in things. Then yeah, AI will. Other than that, no, it's not. At the end of the day, because the thing is that the people say that everyone's replaceable professionally, and that's true. It really is, right? However, there are some exceptions where you're difficult to replace, right? Or you would be a better fit than other people. And AI isn't going to be able to do that. What AI doesn't get, it really doesn't pick up on real work ethic. What AI doesn't get is personality. What AI doesn't get is, let's say, how fast you talk, how fast you think, how well you listen. How good is your EQ, not just your IQ, right? Because if all the AI does, let's say your work history, how long you spend at each company, what the company's industry was, filter it out, what your skills were, whatever. And often it uses your CV or LinkedIn profile. But who writes the CV? Who writes the LinkedIn profile? The individual does, and you can lie, you can exaggerate, you can say whatever the hell you want. So therefore, your inputs for your AI aren't kosher. It's not clean. No offense, because I know you're into it. So therefore, even though I love AI, but if you remember, if the garbage in, garbage out, right? That's the classic. So if you're able to get good data put in, then AI, yes, you're not going to get those interpersonal skills, and you also have to ensure that the information that people put in is accurate and it's something that the AI can read, understand, and be able to spit out what they think is the best person for you to interview. If AI was so great, then people would hire without interviewing, right? AI is a way to filter out a whole bunch of CVs or resumes. It's not a way to actually hire. At the end of the day, you're not hiring a CV, you're hiring a human being. And often I find people that have the capacity to learn, that want to learn, like to grow, are naturally curious and like to help people. Those people will do better, even though that they might not have the experience. They'll learn faster, and they bring a better kind of energy that helps everyone around them improve. And as far as I know, AI has yet to be able to solve for that.
Wow, that was a statement. I will make this as a clip so that we can use it for social media.
Are we done now?
We have a lot more to squeeze in from you, man. You have a lot to say. So everything comes around, like, when it comes to hiring, it's about quality hire. And sometimes we make a bad decision, even though, like, because of the resume that we saw, sometimes, which, like, actually, according to data, 44% of resumes are manipulated or false in a way, with false information. So we make decisions based on that, and not 100% based on data. So how do you think that it affects, like, quality hiring, and how do you make sure that you hire the right person and don't make mistakes?
So something we used to do, which we do less depending on the position, is we do have the team interview the person just for personality, not for knowledge, to see that we think it'll be a good fit because you'll be working together as a team. I can tell you, even me personally, from other jobs that I've had, and I'm sure many people listening to this can remember, is that, oh, I can't stand that person. He or she was an asshole, right? That I've worked with. And it ruins the whole morale of the place. And AI can't solve for that. And people can easily hide that interview, just like someone can hide it on the first date, right? You're not going to use AI to choose your life partner. You know what I mean? At the end, even though people are lying on dating apps anyway, I don't blame them. So at the end of the day, social media, whether it's a dating app, whether it's LinkedIn for recruitment, or if it's just dumb stuff, Facebook and Twitter, it's Instagram. In the end of the day, you have to remember, people try to only highlight the best parts of them. They try to exaggerate them, embellish them, and use that as a way to hide the parts that aren't part of them. So I really think getting buy-in from the rest of the team, doing a very good referral check is imperative. I recently got a CV from a person who worked at an agency. On paper, he looked perfect. AI would have spin it to the top. I took his LinkedIn profile, WhatsApped it to the guy. There's another agency on where he worked. Hey, what's up with this guy? What did he write me? He's mediocre. Don't let his CV mislead you. Nice guy, mediocre. Okay, pass. Thank you. Didn't have to get by him. That saved me far more time, a lot more time. If one person thinks someone's mediocre, they're not good enough for Wadi, even if they have
Wow.
potential and all of that. So you need to keep in mind. So I'm sorry, I know you're all about AI, I know that, and I'm all about AI too. But at the end of the day, we're talking about hiring humans. You know what I mean? We're not talking about can you check off all the traffic lights or crosswalks?
So let me ask you this, Yoel. Most of the hiring today is based on personal assumptions or belief that this person will turn out to be good. Again, you said that we are hiring humans. Of course, there is one. The percentage of hiring is end round of the interview, but majorly the person needs to perform a job that he's being hired for. So it's about skills also required to perform a role. Let's say you're hiring a JavaScript developer or an SEO specialist. How would you trust in terms of skills? Do you think of assessing those candidates?
Test. We
Uh,
do a test.
okay, so this is something that I want to discuss more in detail because I think having data to verify his skills and knowledge is important. At the end of the day, we need to make sure that why we are hiring him to do certain job for our clients or customers or whatever, and he delivers to the best. Again, soft skills are required to have the better communication skills and teamwork and XYZ. But yes, assessment is equivalent. It's equally required to see whether the talent is the right fit for the job.
Was there a question there?
Yes, if there was. I wanted to ask you, how do you think that assessment plays an important role in hiring?
I mean, so do you think? Okay, so there's two ways of doing it. There's time and pressure on the spot, and then there's you need to be able to see if they're a self-learner. So I will do often a test in person, give them a test, and say, you got 40 minutes, here's the test, let's see what you do, right? Use the internet, whatever you want. That lets you know what information they already have in their brain, what they already know. Then you can give another test, take this home, give this back to me in 2 days. Then you see how much they can be self-learning, how much they can grab information online, how much they can, you know what I mean, be able to figure things out on their own, which is imperative. Someone that does need to be spoon-fed. So I think there's two components of it. When we're serving clients, you're on a client call, you need to be quick on your feet and understanding the strategy and having that experience. That's what asking questions in person, what would you do in situations, or giving them an in-person test to see what information they already know. But also a big part of it is that I'm not sure that the answer is, let me do some research, let me do keyword research, let me do strategy, let me build a marketing funnel, let me do ICP research, let me do that and get back to you. And that takes time. And we need to respect that some things take time and some things you need to know off the top of your head. As a hiring manager, you need to be able to differentiate the two of them. What do they need to be able to have already in their mind? And what should they be able to have the resources to be able to find and be able to do for them to be able to do their own research to find for out for themselves?
Perfect. There is one question from the audience. What are the tried and true marketing tactics that every hiring manager should be leveraging to find the kind of employee they want to hire?
Right. I wouldn't say every. I think everyone's different, every company is different, and every hiring manager is different. So some people like to do things different ways. Some people are stronger at different things. Some people are very good skilled at searching on LinkedIn, searching on Google to find things. Some people are very good, have a really good network, so they know how to work the network. Some people have a network of recruiters and they know how to speak to them. So I don't think, so I think it's different for everyone. But when it comes to, I mean, good marketing, I mean, if it's tried and true, you wouldn't be asking the question probably. But from my experience particularly, I think is putting out ads based on your target audience. Specifically, if you can choose what companies that they work for or from what industries, that is the best way for me to do it. Another thing that I would look out for is how long they've been at the current position. If you find that they move jobs around a lot, then that is a huge red flag.
Got it. So let's talk about bit more on the detail on the topic that we are discussing, how to find hidden talent on LinkedIn, and what are your key things that you will consider when you are actually hunting for the hidden talent that you want to hire on LinkedIn.
I
Answer
mean,
in brief. No, brief. I want like
yeah, sure.
really
It
like.
depends on the position, right? So let's say if it's someone more senior that needs a lot of experience or team leader, I would want someone that had a similar role at a similar company. That's it. But I
So
need to make sure that the role I have is an upgrade. So therefore, they find it interesting and challenging.
So let's say, for example, that you are hiring a digital marketing manager, and how would you or any other hiring manager who is not familiar with LinkedIn so much or not leveraging LinkedIn, how would you suggest them to look for talents and approach them?
I would look at the recommendations that they have on LinkedIn. More importantly, do they give recommendations? If you give recommendations, that means you're a good person or you care about other people and you're a team player. That's one of the things I think one of the most underrated parts of LinkedIn is looking at the recommendations, even though I think people don't use it as much as they used to. So that's like one aspect of it. And then really, I would see what are their skills and what do they write about. I do want to raise a red flag. If you
What?
see the CV that you have is different from their LinkedIn profile, run. A lot of people will change their CV for the position that they want.
Yeah.
So if let's say it's a marketing ops, they'll change all of their job titles that they had at their last two or three jobs at marketing ops. But you'll see one's marketing manager, one's marketing strategic. None of them are marketing ops, but they might have been involved in it and might know some. And so they might adapt accordingly. Say if it was a paid media position, they might have the same person literally just change up the CV, the headlines, change out a bullet or two. So if you see a significant mismatch in the headline, the job titles that they have on their CV than their LinkedIn profile, I would run. Especially if you get it through recruiters. Recruiters often tell their people to do that because they have a
Yeah.
financial incentive for you to get hired and they don't care about you.
So sometimes there is also challenge to fill the roles that you want to hire for, right? And there are sometimes that position is open for weeks or months. So how do you leverage LinkedIn to fill that position? What are the tools, or how do you post a job and get some resumes that
I don't.
are.
I don't use resumes and don't do that. I will put out if it, I'm a big believer in friction. If it's as easy as submitting a resume, then I'm not making enough of a barrier for someone that wants to work with us. I
And
will have
let's
a
say.
form, I will have a job description, and it won't even be more about personality than experience. And then I'll ask them to email me the CV. I want to see the body of the email. If you're getting a bunch of CVs, they're worthless. I want to see how they construct an email. Do they personalize it? Do they say, hey, I'm familiar with Wadi Digital. I think I'd be a good fit because I from other tech companies or da 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 da. I want to see what parts of the job description or the requirements or or the skills that I'm looking for that they highlight and that they say that they have specifically in the body of an email or in a cover letter. So I think just collecting CVs is wasting your time and wasting theirs, and it gives a false sense of hope for those looking for employment.
LinkedIn has become easy apply button for applying for jobs today. And if you're as an employee you are looking for another job, it's like you can go to search and just quickly apply, and there are hundreds of resumes for HR to filter and screen.
Sounds
How
like fun.
do Yes, that's a big challenge that HRs are facing today. How they can deal with this, if you can suggest.
Yeah, don't do the easy apply button. There's a
And
lot
what
of
is
lazy ass people that are just going to drop their CVs everywhere. The reason why there's an easy apply button because LinkedIn wants people to give them as much hope as possible that LinkedIn is going to help them recruit people and spend as much time on the platform as possible so they can sell more ad revenue. And I don't blame them. I would do the same thing if I was LinkedIn. There's nothing wrong with them doing that. It's very smart for them to do that. But you as a creator need to understand that you need to create more friction between those that are actually applying. Well, let them filter out. If they can't answer a few custom questions, then they're not worth the time. Then they're not serious. Then it's not the right fit. You're just another one of the 300 job applicants CVs that they've submitted that week.
so there's a question from the audience.
Imagine if just let's think about it. Sorry, yeah. Imagine for a minute if LinkedIn limited that you can only submit 15 CVs a week.
That will be perfect. Then you will use your credits very wisely and not just like
Then the easy
apply.
apply is great, and your CVs will be cut by 90%. And those people that did are actually serious. And I want this position.
Does make sense. Currently, like a lot of challenges that I hear from HR is screening and like spending 2-3 hours a day just like removing, screening all of the irrelevant candidates that apply for the position. There is an open position for customer support, and there are people applying for from sales background. So
Well, that's
yeah,
dumb.
it's not relevant. Yes, and
But you
people are.
also LinkedIn sucks in that way. They'll only give you they won't let you do negatives. I want to say if someone has the word sales in their job title or in their headline in their last two jobs, do not give me the CV. That's not an option.
That's not an option. There
Which
is a
is why you need
possibility.
to have a custom question. You can do on LinkedIn Jobs, even though the targeting is terrible, but you can add custom questions. Just ask custom questions,
Yeah,
and they can
so
automatically filter and archive them.
so what I can also like suggest HR who are hiring on platform, there is like qualifying questions that I ask, and I've been doing it for a while now. So asking qualifying questions like whether they can start immediately, what is like their expectation, what is that one thing that they like about their something, something that which can
Nah,
like.
that's fluff. They can do it. Ask them something that makes them like, why are you asking? Like, name 2 other jobs that you've applied to this week. How are you going to answer
Yeah,
that one? Is it my competitors that other
that's
in it or not? Or only me? Or you don't remember because you just submitted them because you see no difference because spreading your easy apply takes you a freaking second. You can do a search, open, right click, new tab, new tab, new tab, new tab, easy apply, easy apply, easy apply. And you're filtering that. Why did you're spending 2 to 3 hours on that? Shame on you. I mean, filter them out. There's no reason. Make it harder. Make a landing page. Have them send an email with a cover letter. And make it very clear. No cover letter. Here's what we want you to do. People don't know what a cover letter is. Please have a cover letter. Please address the following 4 things. Why you want to work here? What experience do you have that led to be here? Where do you see your career there? What do you find challenging? And just list it. And then you can just read through it real fast. And just by asking for a cover letter, 95% of your applicants will disappear. You go from 3 hours to 15 minutes of filtering through CVs.
1 second.
Oh, wait, I want to say one more thing, actually, now that I think about it. I don't know. I'm thinking out loud here, right? Thought experiment. Recruiters, I don't know, in-house recruiters, do they get rewarded for filling the position? Or do they get rewarded for how long that they stay in that position? Because I wonder if, they fill the position, especially if there are a lot, and a lot of them end up not being the best hire, and no one knows it. Someone doesn't like them, people don't go around publicly saying this person's sure, right? So I think there needs to be an incentive program, just like if I outsource recruiters, if they need to be employed for 3 months for me to pay them. One recruiter wants to get after 1 month. I was like, you don't stand behind your work then. You know what I mean? Like after 1 month, 3 months, you're saying you're giving me someone. If you're that confident, it should be 6 months, right? Like if, I understand cash flow. We can't wait 6 months as a business, but like there's something that where it's just people just might want to just place the position, period, of someone that reads the qualifications on paper, but might not be a good cultural fit or personality fit. And that's nothing against the person, by the way. I have a strong personality. It clashes with some people and probably some cultures. There's nothing about their wrong about their culture, nothing wrong about my personality. But there needs to be a way around that, right? You need to be able to ask about, you need to be able to filter that out in advance by asking some kind of unique question that might not make a person understand why you're asking.
Yep, that's I agree. So, what kind of techniques hiring manager used by he shortlist in the selection process? So basically, what she's trying to say here, any things that you do specifically in the selection process. I think we discussed already. Maybe you want to shed some light in like a sentence or two. Yeah.
I mean, for me, like the big thing is, do they want to work remotely? And have they? If you have and want to work remotely, you're a mature person that has autonomy over your life. The fact that you respect your personal time means you're going to respect your work time. People often have that, think it's inversely correlated. I think it's the opposite.
There's a question, Zubira Ahmed, how you can ensure that when you're screening LinkedIn profiles or resumes, the screening is fair and unbiased.
You can't.
Can't?
Nope.
Uh,
I mean, you can block out the names, but we're human. So like, oh, they worked at that company. Oh, I hate that company. They ripped me off. Oh, they worked at Sakani. Oh, I love their sneakers. Oh, they worked at Adidas. Oh, they're founded by Nazis and they support anti-Semites. I was like, yeah, I'm going to be biased. I'm a human being. What do you want from me? Like, you know what I mean? You worked at the UN. No thanks. You know, like, I'm a human. So I'm human. You're human. I'm only judging you by the piece of paper. How can I not be biased? I do think we should be able to blur out names so you don't know their ethnicity or maybe their gender. Yes. But outside of that, we're making decisions. The AI is making decisions based on your CV, based on biases. So to think you're going to get rid of biases, I think that's impossible. I think the best way to do that is just the only way you can remove any kind of bias that's in your interest and the person you're potentially hiring's interest is to blur out, if you can collect their CV without their name. Other than that, to pretend that people aren't biased, we're humans. I mean, we wouldn't be so flawed and screwed up, you know, speaking from personal experience, if we weren't biased. Acknowledge that you're biased and do your best to fight it. That's my advice. And if you can get someone in advance to blur out their names, so you might not know their I don't know, their ethnicity or their gender or something, I don't know, then I would recommend that, because there's no difference in how well someone can perform, you know, based on their name. Their name means nothing.
So as a marketer, like you have done like social media ads and also like, you know, for driving customers, of course, and leads. But is it effective to run and recruitment ads to hire or fill the position faster?
As opposed to not running ads. I mean, running ads it depends. If you're running ads and you're getting 200 CVs and you're spending 3 hours a day filtering through them, it sounds like it's going to take longer. You see what I mean? So like, it depends. Your ads need to be extremely, I have to tell you, when we do ads for our clients, not recruitment, we need to ensure that their leads aren't just the right person we want to speak to at the right company. We want to make sure that they're qualified, that they're in market, and they're more likely to move down pipeline. That means we need to put as much friction as possible to ensure this person actually wants to be a lead and is actually interested in your product or solution. Therefore, we want to increase the cost per lead, but the trade-off is that our pipeline is much better and our salespeople don't waste time, and we're not doing marketing automation over people that are going to go nowhere. The same thing is true when it comes to advertising for recruitment. So if you put out a bunch of ads, you put out ads and you're collecting things at scale, it's actually going to take you longer if you got to spend 3 hours a day, like you said, going through CVs or resumes. So yeah.
Yeah, that sounds fair. And so, do you think that resumes or CVs which come across are important while hiring quality talent?
Do I think CVs are important?
CVs or resumes. You mentioned that there should be like, you know, cover letter while we ask them to apply for a job to reduce the screening time. Do you think that you judge based on like resumes, or you prefer like looking at their LinkedIn profiles? What's your take on this here?
It depends. So like, look, everything's a filter mechanism. So if you just did CVs, that's great. You can check that, do they have according to their CV, which can obviously be false or exaggerated. You can filter who's relevant, who's right. You can filter out some, but it doesn't filter out enough. So cover letter might filter out further. Um, so the best way in the end is being able to check in the back end, being able to be able to find out personally. I mean, ideally, to save time, you want to put as much friction as possible before they fill out, before they apply.
Yeah. So
What did
let's
what
do.
did what did she ask for your question? Recruiter companies usually give 6 months quantity guarantee. That is, sounds like you work with better. Says sounds like they're. Send me your recruiters, please. I would be very interested in speaking to them because the ones I'm working with is 3 months.
Yeah, I would love to have
Thank
that
you, Atif.
information. uh, so let's do a quick fire tips for getting the
Woo.
best from recruiting on LinkedIn.
Yeah, what's up? Okay, cool. Quick fire tips. You can ask me fire questions, or you want
No,
me to just spit?
you just mentioned what are the few tips that every recruiter should actually do on LinkedIn to hire the quality talent on LinkedIn or hidden talent on LinkedIn faster.
Right. Okay. Number one is obviously do make a job description, um, and then be as honest as possible with the description. Number two, say who you're not hiring. This position is not for. Right. So like I am pre-qualifying. Like you have to be fluent in English. You have to have a home office, which a lot of people have now because of Corona. Right. You need to have like that. Do not apply if. Do not apply if. Do not apply if you don't have a good work ethic. Do not apply if you don't like listening to people. Do not apply. You know what I mean? Like, have you read Dale Carnegie or list a few books? Do not apply if you haven't this. Da, 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 right? You can. That's some of the best things you can do. That's another thing you can do. Second, take ads. Go very targeted. That's another thing you can do. Third is take the job description and send it over to the people that you trust most. Another thing you can do, ask competitors. Hey, I'm looking to hire these. Do you have any CVs that you think we're on the right foot, but we're good? You know what I mean? Things like that. These are other things you can do. So these are the kind of tips that I would specifically do. So post, make sure people filter out, tell them what you're not looking for, why they won't enjoy it, and why they shouldn't apply. Ask for cover letters. I'd ask for people, instead of an easy apply, have them submit an email. That's an extra step. You're taking the one click out of it, right? Why Amazon's so great. Amazon's products aren't the cheapest, but the convenience is what's there. So that's why people are doing it. It's the same thing. You want to remove a little bit of the convenience factor, maybe even and have them even answer custom questions just to be able to submit their CV. And another thing that I would do particularly, this does go against the bias thing, but it does help. It's ask them to make a video interview, just 3 minutes, of why they think they'd be right for your company specifically. Do they know what your company is? Are they talking about your company, or are they talking about themselves? Are they actually reading the question? Are they talking about what their experience? Are they talking about why they're a good fit for your company? So there are a lot of different things that you can do, but the most important thing is you get to learn how to network. You learn to
This
speak to people and
is
say, have you spoken to them?
perfect, Yoel. This was amazing. Why we so when you mention all of this filtering criterias that we need to take care of, that's where I think Testlify can help in terms of creating the landing page where they can come, they have an intro video about your company, you set the expectation what you're actually looking for in 30 seconds to the candidates, and they can write and they can filter down qualifying questions, and then they can record the 30-second video and submit an application rather than just easy apply where you can reduce almost 70 to 80% of your hiring or screening process. So there's one more question from the audience. Do you think promoting jobs on LinkedIn is more effective than posting free jobs multiple times?
I don't understand. What do you think
So
promoting
I think
jobs on LinkedIn is more effective than posting? Do you mean, does he think it's better to pay ads than do a guy? Well, who's seeing your shit? Who's following you? Only people that are following you, people that follow you, that tag people, will see it. You have to promote jobs. You have to do ads in order to get it in front of people that you don't know exist. And
so
by the way, do both.
and also when you are hiring, I definitely recommend you create a job from your company profile, but also additionally reach out to your network, right? Say that you're hiring for this position, and that's where you find the best people within your network who you know, or somebody who knows that somebody's looking for a job. And that's where I found great talents, and that's where I think Yoel mentioned initially that hiring from network is better always. Um, there is something that Adi. So it's interesting you're talking about cover letter. I'm originally from Israel but live in EU for many years. Most places in EU requires a cover letter, but I don't know that in Israel they don't like it. Bottom line, I agree with you. Don't think the cover letter. Do think that cover letter is important. Yes.
So I want to say something about that. Actually, this is a really great point, Adit. Adit, thank you. In Israel, everyone knows each other. I don't need your cover letter. I look at our 80 communal connections filtered by people in marketing and advertising, and I just send them the thing. What about this person? I see this person working in the same company as you, da da da, and everyone knows each other. So in a way, yes. If you're hiring again, if you're collecting a lot of damn CVs, now I'm not, right? We're like 24 people. If you're, like I said, you're opening a new office, if you have got a lot of funding and all that, then a cover letter will filter it through. If it's important, right? So yes, but I do think so. I also, it really helps you filter out, especially for higher quality talent.
So if you have any other questions, put down in the chat, and before we end, we will take a couple more questions if there are any. Meanwhile, Yoel, I would love to hear a bit more about your business, Wadi Digital, how they're helping Israeli tech companies with marketing and other stuff. Maybe
Yeah, like I said, look, I moved here because I'm a Zionist and I want to do as much as I can for the Israeli tech scene, and I want to get as much people to be as inclusive as possible, and that's one of our main focuses when it comes to recruitment, bringing in great talent and developing them and helping them set themselves up for a career that's going to be successful to them and for Israel and the tech scene as a whole. We've been able to do that. Wadi Digital, we're like 24 people. We're full time in Israel, all of us, but we're all remote. And in short, we have 4 main departments. We have advertising, which includes all platforms, well more than LinkedIn and Google. We do Quora, Reddit, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, metadata. We have SEO, which is amazing, going extremely well. We have influencer marketing, like you mentioned earlier, particularly for cybersecurity. We do a lot of influencer marketing. We're the leaders in the industry. And then we do social media organic. So those are our 4 main things. We really love helping people. As someone that moved here from America, I'm totally disappointed with the shitty ass customer service we get here in Israel. And I'm on a mission to make Israel a better place by leading by example, by providing superior customer service and superior marketing so we can help these companies grow. And then ideally, the people that work with us are so happy and impressed. I'm told that they now expect from their other vendors that they work with, marketing and otherwise, they demand better customer service added in their personal lives. So I'm really happy to know that we're making a difference, not just directly for the businesses and the clients that we serve, but also for the greater community. And we hope to continue to do that. And I hope you will get to work with us so you can join us on this journey on making Israel a better place to work, a better place to live, and much better customer service, and a growing tech ecosystem that's more inclusive to all the people throughout Israel.
Wow. Impressive. Are you hiring for any positions that if somebody's listening,
we're filling 2 positions next week, head of marketing for Wadi. I'm done doing all the marketing. I can't do it forever. And we're hired another advertising account manager who's also starting next week. Other than that, we are looking for a junior advertiser that has the 6 months experience in advertising.
Awesome.
So that's our next hire.
Awesome. So if somebody's listening, or if you are looking for a marketing agency, I highly recommend this guy. Yoel is doing some amazing work here in Israel and globally. So Yoel, thank you so much for your time, and really appreciate it. It's always fun to have you on LinkedIn Live. Hopefully we can plan something offline where we can meet and do LinkedIn Live sitting together. And
wait, hold on. What's hopefully? When are we doing it?
Hopefully next month.
Hopefully. Okay. Let's do it.
Yeah, man, I will reach out. Thank you so much again.
Pratik, you're awesome. And thank you everyone for tuning in. Send me a connection request.
Cool. Bye everyone. Thank you.